That's cool. Right. So I'm going to share basically £23 of body fat I gained in my perimenopause. Even though I know what I'm doing nutrition-wise and exercise-wise, but obviously I've managed to lose it. So I've lost £30 since I was perimenopausal, gained 23, and I've lost £50 in total in the last 7 years. So I'm going to tell you all my secrets. If you've got any questions, there's a couple of slides that has got things, but I'm going to ask you to specifically put stuff in the chat box. But if anything, if I'm speaking about any random stuff and a question comes to your mind, please just pop it in the chat box, because there should be enough time at the end to answer them. All right, hope that's cool, my lovely. More people saying hi, brilliant. So you've introduced yourself in the chat box, thank you very much. I'm just going to tell you a wee bit about myself. I am Coach Cara. Obviously you know that because you all follow me, which is fantastic. And I hope that most of you have interacted with me as well. I will always message you. My inbox is always open for chat. But I am Caris. I am 51, 52 in July. My husband is Carl, Karl, who we affectionately call Cal, because nobody in Scotland can pronounce his name. So he only gets his name pronounced properly when we go to England, funnily enough, but he's cool with that. This is Jasper, my doggo, who is he's floating about somewhere. He's a Jack Russell Beagle cross, so a mongrel, but he's 7 years old. He's very nice. Me and Cal got married 7 years ago. We've been together 10 years, second marriage for me. Obviously, I am Cal's first and last wife. That's what I keep telling him. Anyway, and this little picture here is my ladies that lift. So I trained as a CrossFit coach 7 years ago. I coached CrossFit. I coached kids and the teens. But when I was perimenopausal, I wanted to try and get as many women in the gym. So in May 2023, May 2023. So just coming up for 2 years, and we've now got 28 women that come to the gym, age 45 and over, that are just generally awesome. Because some of them are on here today and they are awesome. Anyway, if you want to put a comment in about how awesome you are in the chat box, ladies, that would be amazing. So that's pretty much me. I do online nutrition coaching for perimenopausal women or midlife women that are either perimenopausal, menopausal, or they're just at that stage in their life that their skills are keeping up, etc. And then I've got my ladies that lift. So I actually have quite a nice life. I love my job. Basically, I get to meet everybody. I get to chat to loads of women. They're an inspiration as well. It's not just I am not the be all and end all. I am not CrossFit. I am not the inspiration. I get as much support for them as they do for me. So it's very lovely. So I'll start with, you make us awesome, Lorraine, bless you, my sweetheart. We're going to do the highs, the lows, and the super lows. So I don't know where you all are in your perimenopause journey. If there's anything you're specifically struggling with, again, please stick it in the chat box. I have struggled probably the most with anxiety and lack of confidence, which I'm not an anxious person and I'm not a particularly confident person, but there was a time that it was just horrific. So anyway, the highs and the lows. So I'll start with the worst stuff first. Thoughts of death. Not thoughts of death as in I was going to do something to myself or kill myself, but thoughts of death as in there was a couple of nights that I was in the house myself. Cal was back shift. I'd probably had a couple of glasses of wine, possibly a bottle of wine, possibly a bottle and a half of wine, to be fair. And I remember sitting one night and thinking to myself that when I go to my bed, that's my life's just going to be over. I'm not going to have, there's going to be nothing to get up for. And I couldn't see anything. This does sound like I was going to harm myself, and I wasn't. I've not been detrimental to anybody that's had suicidal thoughts. I never have. But I tidied everything up. I put the dishes away. I tidied all the kitchen cupboards. I made the spare bed properly. I plumped all the cushions on the sofa. I folded my clothes up. And I was just convinced that when I woke up, well, I wasn't going to wake up in the morning, that somebody was going to come into the house and I wanted them to find the house tidy. Now, I think that's probably, with hindsight, a bit actually ridiculous. And I don't really know where it came from, but that was probably one of the turning points that I decided that I had to do something. I had to sort my life out. I had to do something. And don't think for 1 minute that my life was shit, because it wasn't. My marriage is brilliant, my job's brilliant, I love it, but I suppose it's just very difficult to believe how you can help people when you feel that you're in the bottom of the big black hole. Because I was still doing, I think I'd just started my online, so I was on Insta telling everybody how wonderful life was, and coming home at night and thinking, Jesus fucking Christ. So I felt like a bit of a fraud, which didn't help neither. Anyway, luckily I did wake up in the morning, nothing bad happened. And well, it was all good. That was 2.5 years ago. So yeah, dig in, ladies. Anyway, the arguments. I don't know about you, right? I'm not a particularly argumentative person. I grew up as an only child. I grew up in my mum and dad had a very loving marriage. And I suppose they weren't arguers neither, so I don't really cope well with a lot of noise, which is hilarious because I'm usually in the gym with the music blaring, but I don't really cope very well with noisy situations. So to suddenly find myself going from 0 to 100% red mist and actually screaming at the top of my voice was really quite scary. So the biggest argument that me and Cal had, I think it's probably the closest we've came to him walking out, was because I went mental at him because he took his multivitamin without me, which is fucking ridiculous. I mean, come on. So I was using Cal as my, I suppose, memory bank. So if he took his multivitamin, or if he laid all his, I can't even, I'm actually sitting here trying to justify this, and I can't, because it was so outrageous. It was unreal, honestly. And then when I turned around, then he just looked at me, and I was like, oh, fuck. But it was, I suppose, if he took it, then he would remind me to take it. Anyway, he didn't know that at the time. I lost my shit. Anyway, he didn't leave. Thank fuck. He's still here, so it's all good. So anyway, that was probably the worst argument. The rage as well. Do you get rage? I'm not so bad now, I must admit. It's kind of under control now, but the rage is just like, I still don't really understand how 1 minute everything can be fine, and then somebody will do something or say something and you just explode. Yeah, anyway, I think a lot of the time when you're aware of something, it's I suppose it's the first step to change. So I try not to have the rage anymore. Fiona, I used to get off the chart rage in the perimenopause. Yeah, but you're not a raging person, so it just, I don't know where it comes from. And then the other turning point, funnily enough, I've had quite a few turning points, and it is a constant battle, or it was a constant battle to keep on it. So it was very much a case of 2 steps forward and 1 step back for a very long time. But I got pulled by the police. So I pulled out in front of them, which I was oblivious to. I never seen them. I was then on my phone going up the road with the police behind me. I then went over a mini roundabout. I didn't go round a mini roundabout. Now, I would still refute that, right? Because I think quite a lot of people go over mini roundabouts, but it was probably a combination of those 3 things. So I pulled out in front of them. I was on my phone. They knew that I was on my phone because I was oblivious. And I went over the mini roundabout, and then I seen the flashing lights in the rear view mirror. So I pulled in thinking, oh, the police just want past me. And obviously they pulled me. So luckily, it was 2 very nice policemen who asked me basically what I was doing and why I didn't notice them when they were practically in my boot. That was their exact words. By which point I was in a state, I was struggling to get my license out of my wallet, my hands were shaking, I was having a total hyperventilation, adrenaline, whatever you want to call it. So I was just trying to explain to them that I was having a menopause and I was having a drama and I was having such a bad day and I was thinking about everything else that I had to do. Anyway, I got a warning. I didn't get done. I probably should have, to be fair. I probably should have got points, but I didn't. And I don't know if it was because, I don't know why. Anyway, it was very nice of them. I'll be eternally grateful to the traffic cops of Falkirk. Anyway, needless to say, I don't use my phone now in the car, funnily enough. And I'm very conscious of the speed as well. So yeah, that was 4 turning points. I hope I've not depressed you all. Honestly, I promise you it's better and it gets far more exciting about all the good things that have happened. But I'm sure you, hopefully, you never go through anything like that, especially not the thoughts of death. That was probably the worst, in all fairness. But yeah, let's go on to some jolly stuff. Right, so this was about 6 or 7 years ago. I was 203 pounds, I think, in this little face one. and I was about 190 in the full length one. Again, I never had any confidence, which I always managed to hide quite well by drinking a lot of alcohol, being really loud, and obviously I'm fucking hilarious anyway, but I was super funny back then. Low confidence, I was overweight, I had a secret smoking habit, and I use the term secret loosely because I thought it was secret, but it wasn't secret because it smells, obviously. And I got caught so many times by various people in my life, but I still denied I was a smoker, even though I was smoking 20 a day. It was actually ridiculous. Anyway, I was coming home at night, drinking wine every night, takeaway and crisps, pizzas. The diet that I had for a long time, probably about a year, was a supermarket pizza, crisps and dip to start with, and at least a bottle of wine every night. So obviously that doesn't help with being overweight. It doesn't help with your confidence. It doesn't help with your sleep, and when you don't get sleep, that just makes your anxiety even worse. So yeah, this wasn't a good time. It wasn't a good time. It's still a bit depressing, isn't it? I'm going to do my best. Anyway, here I am now. Zero fucks are given. Average weight, healthy diet. I train 4 to 6 times a week. I drink alcohol 3 to 4 times a year. I was away last week in Rhodes and I had 3 beers every night, which was lovely. It didn't disrupt my sleep. It was spread over the course of the night. And before that, the last time I had a drink was just before Christmas, actually, in December. So now I can take it or leave it. I will also put my hand up and say I'm going to my bed and slink, because I have the confidence to do that now, because I don't really give a fuck whether I'm judged or not. Whereas before, I would have absolutely 100% tried to be the last one standing, because I thought that was cool. It wasn't cool, but I've had some awesome laughs with alcohol. I love alcohol. I'm actually quite sad that it doesn't agree with me anymore. I was never a total bomb scare, but it's quite nice. Oh, you know what it's like if you drink, you understand. It's quite nice to go out and have a couple of drinks with your pals and stuff like that. But it was getting to the stage that you just I couldn't say no. Absolutely could not say no. So, and again, this goes against all the advice I would give anybody. I would give everybody the advice to never actually cut anything out their diet, but sometimes you actually just need to try and do it for yourself. So, I've drunk on and off now for, I don't know, the last 2 years, but again, the turning points with alcohol were the first night. I am not a spewer. I absolutely do not vomit, right? I have never vomited with alcohol until about 3 years ago. Me and my pal went out up the town and we had something to eat and had a beer. And then we went to another pub and we met some of the CrossFitters. So we sat with them and we shared a bottle of Prosecco. Then we had 2 cocktails, which in the grand scheme of things, right, is not actually a lot. I don't think it's a lot. 1 beer, half a bottle of Prosecco and 2 cocktails. Anyway, came home the back of 9, got Cal, we walked down to the chippy with the dog. Apparently I bounced off every wall on the way down the road. I can't actually remember that. Got back up the road, had chips and curry sauce, probably the worst thing to have if you've been drinking, well, especially if you're going to vomit. Anyway, fell asleep on the sofa, woke up, ran to the bathroom. We live in an old house, right? Got a really long hall. Did not make it to the bathroom. Spewed up the hall, spewed everywhere, all over the downstairs bathroom. Cal stood in it on the way to get me to make sure that I was all right. Jasper ate it, that's the dog, obviously, which is not cool. Can't actually believe that I'm sharing this, but I need you to know how bad it was. Anyway, Jasper loves chips and curry sauce. Needless to say, I have never touched curry sauce again, right? Obviously, the next day I was absolutely dying, and I was like, right, that's me off the alcohol, which I did stay off it for a while, right? But I am quite easily led. Anyway, fast forward a year or so, and then the next time I had too much to drink. I can't even remember where I was. Was I with Cal? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, I went up the stairs to my bed, and again, not millions of alcohol. Maybe by this point I'd clicked that I had to stop drinking. Oh no, it was a CrossFit night out. No, I hadn't clicked. I was being a dick. Right, so we had, I was drinking pints, so I had maybe 4 pints, and then did my usual, went to the bar, got a shot, so I had about 3 shots, right? So we got down the road, which I remember. I went away to my bed. when Cal came up the stairs 20 minutes later, I was in the shower in the dark, up the stairs. Now, before I got into the shower, I remember sitting on the toilet and being sick, and the sick hitting the back of the bathroom door. This is fucking awful. I'm actually mortified telling you this, right? But anyway, so was in the shower. Cal comes in the shower into the bathroom, and he's obviously like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Right? But I was obviously trying to wash the sick out of my hair. I'd been sick in the bed. So he stripped the bed. It gets washed, by the way. He stripped the bed. We went down the stairs into the spare bed, and then I woke up in the middle of the night for a pee, not knowing where I was, obviously, because I'd been steaming and I was in the spare bedroom. Went to go out the door, hit the wall, and then landed upside down naked in the washing basket. Broke the washing basket, obviously. Cal puts the light on, and I'm screaming at him, saying, what there's nothing to see. What the fuck are you putting the light on for? Oh my fucking God. Anyway, right, so that was my 2 worst nightmare of alcohol ever. It's so funny. Anyway, we call it Curry Gate and Washing Basket Gate. And I hope it never gets mentioned again, but it will, because up until this point, Cal was the spewer and I'd never spewed. So now he's a top Banks drinker and I'm the pussy, which I'm fine with, by the way. So anyway, so now I will have a couple of drinks if I fancy it, but it is literally a couple of drinks. And when I was on holiday, I really fancied a glass of wine, but I haven't had a glass of wine for so long, and I don't trust myself to have just one. And I'm not sure how I would be with 2 or 3 or 4 wines. So I haven't drank wine since. I quite miss it, actually. But anyway, that's just something. So that's where we are with alcohol. So now I will have a couple and say, that's me. I'm away at my bed like a proper adult. So, Lorraine, love your honesty. Fiona, spew vomit sign. Thank you very much. That's She-Hulk, according to the kids. Hilarious. Right, so I'm giving you one wish. If I could grant you one wish, right, I'm going to sort your life out with one wish. What would your life look like in 6 months? I'm going to ask you to be brave and pop it in the chat. Bearing in mind, I have just bared my soul with 2 vomiting stories, all right? So there's nothing that you can say that's going to shock me. But I want you to get comfortable with just being truthful. Naked truth, that's what we'll call it, a naked truth. My tea, I've just drank my tea and it's cold. It's because I've been chatting so much. So, I always wanted to be, I don't know about you, but as a girl and stuff like that, I have never been skinny ever. You've never been able to see my ribs. I've always had pads, I've had big boobs. I've got quite a curvy figure, but I've never had a flat tummy, so I always wanted to have a flat stomach. I always wanted my stomach to be, my boobs to stick out further than my tummy, basically. And I still don't have a flat stomach, but I'm old enough now to realise that I'm not prepared to eat so little food that I'm going to have a 6-pack. So I would just like a wee change of size kind of thing. Oh, brilliant, ladies, brilliant. Healthy and thin, fair enough. Wearing smaller knickers, banging. Self fit and healthy, banging. A stone lighter, I'm more confident in myself. Absolutely, it's the confidence, 100%. I'd be teetotal and less anxious. Jen, do you think does the anxiousness come from the alcohol? 4 stone lighter, have more energy, banging, stronger and lean and strong, fitting into clothes that fitted me 12 months ago. Yeah, fair. Would love to be a size 12 with no varicose veins. I think I'm getting a varicose vein, by the way. Yeah, I've never had one of them before. And it's made 100 times worse with alcohol. Yeah, I get that. Brilliant, ladies. Brilliant. And you all believe, I hope you all believe that all of these things are all doable. 100%. Thanks so much, ladies. Honestly, rocking a bikini. Banging. Banging. I love it. Bikinis come for confidence, though. We know that, don't we? It doesn't actually matter what size you are. It's just the confidence and stuff like that. Excellent. Well done. Fabulous, ladies. Fabulous. Right, let's see what other chat we've got. This evening's plan. Why I gained 23 pounds during the peri-meno. Right, the actual science. Lorraine, wear shorts. Oh, you should absolutely bloody wear the shorts. 100%. Just wear them. I still do bikinis, don't care. I fucking love that, Amanda. Honestly. How do you get a bikini body? Take your body and put a bikini on it. Nobody cares, honestly. Love it. Right, this evening's plan why I gained 23 pounds during the peri-meno, the actual science, the 6 things I worked on to reverse this, including the 2 things closest to a perimenopause magic potion. I do hope you all know, ladies, if you follow me, there is actually there's magic pill. It is the boring, basic shit. Are you ready to hear all my secrets? Give me a hell yeah in the chat box. Or a yeah. Or some kisses. Or a wee love heart. I don't mind. Lovely, 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 lovely. Right, so throughout all of this, I want you to remember the only difference, ladies, between me and you is that I started before you. That is literally the only difference. Absolutely 100% the only difference, all right? I don't have a secret thing that I'm selling or anything like that. Right, so why and how I gained 23 pounds, right? So the perimenopause does not cause weight gain. And when I found this out, I was absolutely heartbroken because I wanted it to be, I didn't want it to be my fault. I wanted it to be science. I wanted it to be something that was going to happen to everybody and everybody would understand. But there's so many people out there that still think that it does. And it doesn't. There's no direct correlation. Yes, it's to do with hormones, but it's not directly connected to the perimenopause. So your hormones will place the fat that you store in different places, which is why your body shape will change. A lot of you might have what we call a perimenal belly. I've always had a belly, to be fair, but it is still the first place that I put fat on. And around your hips and your bum and stuff. And then we notice it kind of like back fat and our flabby bits on our arms and stuff like that as well. But there's no direct link. The reason I gained 23 pounds is because I moved less and I ate more. And if you're sitting there thinking that you're nailing everything, and if you're sitting there thinking that nothing's changed, right, something will have changed. The thing that I noticed the most was that I was sitting on the sofa more than I would have done. So I wasn't measuring my steps at this point, but obviously when I'm starting about the gym, I can knock out 15 to 20,000 steps, no bother during the day, 100%, no bother, absolutely not a problem. Didn't even need to think about it. But I was probably doing about 4,000, and that, for fat loss, the biggest thing you can do is walk. Yes, we all need to lift weights. Yes, we all need to train. Yes, we all need to do exercise, but that's for your bones and your joints and your heart and your lungs. It's not for fat loss. So the first thing I would say is if you're looking for fat loss, get out and get walking. It's free. The weather is beautiful at this moment in time. Don't know how long that's going to be, but you know, none of us are going to shrink. If I told you that you had to go for a walk in the rain because you would shrink a body size, you would fucking do it in a heartbeat. But because we think it's an effort, we tend not to do it. So walking is the best. Anyway, that is the science, all right? You're moving less and you're eating more. And you're not necessarily eating more meals, but the quality of your food might be a bit shit. So you could be eating more. I lived on Haribo, more Haribos, more takeaways, more processed food, more convenience food because you've not got any motivation to cook, which is, again, is perfectly understandable. This is what it looked like, right? 2 to 3 takeaways a week, bags of Haribo and all the chocolate. Again, I've never had a sweet tooth. I've always just used to eat crisps and cheese, and now I'm like, oh my God, give me all the chocolate. Bottle of wine 2 to 3 times per week, and a bottle of wine's what, 500, 600, 700 calories? So there you go. Train sporadically, if at all. I used to book in for training and then just no turn up, which is hilarious because it's actually my job. And everybody thinks because it's my job that I can do it, and it's not. You still get the same anxiety and stuff like that. Moved as little as possible. I had all the naps. And Fiona, I've put everybody's face down the bottom and I can't see the bottom one. Oh, there you go. Moved you all. Anyway, excess sofa time with TV and scrolling. So, used to come home at night, sit on the sofa, watch telly. I never watched so many shitty television programs ever. I'm not even a celebrity person, and I was just watching all the shite of the day because I didn't want to go for a walk. So I moved less and I ate more. Simply put, right, I started prioritizing me. And again, does anybody struggle with this? Pop it in the chat box if you do. All right. Does any of you have guilt? So if you are mums, do you have mum guilt? Do you think that you would, I know some of you do this, I know some of you obviously that are on here, and you would do anything for your husband and your kids. You'll stand and cook 4 different meals a day, you'll ferry them everywhere, you'll make sure that they're eating properly, you'll make sure that they're doing their exercise, but you can't take an hour a day for yourself because you feel guilty. Because if you're doing it for yourself, that's an hour that you're taking away from them, when you actually, in fact, taking an hour for yourself will make you a nicer fucking human being, basically. It'll make you, you can't fill for an empty cup. It'll allow you to give to everybody else because you've actually looked after yourself. So this is what prioritising me look like. Decent food, macros, protein first, exercise and activity, water, sleep, and managing stress. Heather, what about naps being bad? I would say naps are only bad if they're going to interfere with your nighttime sleep. So there's no point napping for like 2 hours in the afternoon if it's going to keep you up till midnight and then you're like a burst ball when you get up again. I napped every day for about a year, probably, when I was at the height of the perimenopause, purely because I felt fatigued. It didn't disrupt my evening sleep. So no, if you need to nap. Spanish and Italians do it all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. A rucksack of guilt all the time when they're grown-ups now. And Kirsty, yes, I do, although I think it's an excuse. Yeah, Kirsty, I get that. It's like the perimenopause causes weight gain. Do you know, we don't want to accept any responsibility, I think. So, decent food. Right, so all of this stuff that I'm just about to tell you, ladies, you can take this away and you can do it yourself. There's nothing in here that's extreme. I'm not expecting you to start CrossFitting 6 or 7 times a week. I'm not expecting you to go out and buy a new diet or anything like that, all right? This is all basic, the boring shit, basically. So if you want to lose body fat, you need to get your arse into a realistic calorie deficit. The James Smith calculator is probably one of the best. However, if any of you are struggling to work out your calories for a deficit, just message me on either Insta if you've got my number, WhatsApp me as well, and I'll work it out for you free. It's not a problem. But 15% is a fab start, right? So the lower the deficit, the slower the fat loss, the more chance you have of sticking to it. The higher the deficit, the faster the fat loss, but you'll probably fuck it in a month because you'll be scunnered with it if you can even last a month. So doing a 15% deficit for 6 months will get you where you want to be, as opposed to doing a 35% deficit for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because you'll just be like, oh, fuck this, I'm starving. So think about that. 80-20 rule. 80% of your daily calories on whole, nutritious, unprocessed food. Things like that you can see in the pictures. Yes, that homemade burger is classed as unprocessed, all right? Get your salads in, get your veggies in, get your Greek yogurt in, get your fruit in, get your peas, gammon steak, pineapple, maybe no the chips, that would maybe be the 20% to be fair. 20% of your daily calories on your treats. Don't be cutting anything out. You need your chocolate, you need your sweeties. If you want to spend your 20% on a glass of wine, bang and knock yourself out. Don't cut anything out unless you're allergic or intolerant. All right? You need to keep the tasty stuff in your diet because that is literally what gets you through the day. And don't over restrict. How many of you have started a diet every Monday and tried to live on a banana for your breakfast, a cup of soup for your lunch, normal dinner, and then come weekend it's like party fucking central because you're starved yourself a week and you feel like you need a reward. So that's not going to work neither. So instead of cutting everything out, portion control. There's nothing wrong with eating the chocolate. As if you're eating the gigantic share bar of chocolate every night, then that's maybe a problem. But if you tell yourself that you can have chocolate every day, just a wee bit, then that's totally cool. Protein, again, you can do this. This is pretty much the government eat well plate, all right? Quarter of a plate of lean protein, quarter of a plate of starchy carbs, and half a plate of fruit or veggies, and a thumb-sized piece of fat. So that could be your butter or your mayonnaise or your salad dressing or your olive oil, basically, and all the nice, tasty stuff. And then have your treats. Give me a nod if you think that that's doable. That is doable, isn't it? We're not, yeah, there's nothing extreme. Nothing extreme. Right, exercise and activity, daily walks, that's exactly what I said to you before, all right? The best thing you can do for fat loss is walk. If you're never going to be a runner, right, and you absolutely detest running, don't do it. Just walk. So if you run 5 miles or you walk 5 miles, you will burn the exact same calories. The only difference is it'll take you less time, obviously, to do the run. But it doesn't matter, you still burn the same calories, all right? 30 minutes of sweaty exercise 5 times a week. See if you're not there yet, that's okay. If you're not doing any exercise, then just start with 1 session a week. Little, it's exactly like the calorie deficit. You just want to build up. You need to get yourself a win. If you go from 0 to hero, so if you go from 0 training sessions to, oh my God, I'm going to totally get out of my bed at 5 o'clock every morning and I'm going to train 7 days a week, right? No, you aren't. You fucking are not going to manage that. So start small. 3 to 4 weightlifting sessions a week, that can be included in your cardio. The best thing for fat loss, find something you enjoy. That is the best thing for fat loss. There is absolutely no point in doing something that you hate because you'll no stick it, right? I think everybody should do CrossFit because I do CrossFit and I love CrossFit, and everybody that comes to CrossFit loves CrossFit. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's high rocks, whether it's running, whether it's going to the gym on your own, whether it's doing Zumba, spin. It doesn't matter. Just find what you like and do it. And anybody that tells you that you're a perimenopause woman and you shouldn't be doing 2 to 3 cardio sessions a week, just tell them to fuck off, all right? If you like that, that's exactly what you should be doing, providing it's not giving you any joint pain or anything like that. Jackie, do flushes count as sweat exercise? Asking for a friend. 100%, 100%, 100%. But saying that, right, if you get sweaty at exercise, one of the reasons we get hot flushes is because the estrogen has disappeared out the part of your brain. I want to say the hypothalamus or whatever it's called. I can't remember if it is that. Anyway, the estrogen has disappeared out the part of your brain that controls your body temperature, which is why we get hot flushes. So getting sweaty with exercise or sex, by the way, right, will help manage your flushes. So there's another reason why you should exercise, because it does help manage. Water. Why should you drink water? Well, water also regulates your body temperature and will help control your hot flashes and your night sweats. So you are aiming eventually for 4 litres of water per day. It protects your joints. There's a lot of joint pain. Do you have joint pain? Sore knees, sore hips, sore shoulders. Water will help. Digestion and constipation as well. If you're looking for fat loss and you want the scales to drop, you need to get the food that you've eaten out your body. So you need to poop that food out your body and pee that food out your body. And you won't do that if you're not drinking water. Helps with your training performance because these are all athletes. Helps with fat loss. Ideally 2 to 4 litres. Nearly 4. Try for 4. Right, we've got magic potions. Give me a wee comment in the chat box again, ladies, if there's one particular thing that you're struggling with the most, whether it's exercise, whether it's dieting, whether it's your perimenopause symptoms, what your perimenopause symptoms are. Just give me one thing, because this is, pains me to say this because I was like having a total drama when I heard this out, but sorting out your food and nutrition will help with most of these. Oh, weekends, Jackie, are you a Monday to Friday all over it and then you totally fuck it at the weekend? That's quite common. That is quite common. So most of the reasons, I'll just go through these one at a time, all right? Weekends, usually what happens is we treat the weekends as a reward because we've been so good Monday to Friday. So if you can leave things in Monday to Friday that you class as bad food, but practice portion control, that will absolutely help get you through the weekends. I absolutely promise you. But at some point, there needs to be a conversation with, whether it's with your coach or whether it's with yourself, that you need to decide what you want more, whether you want your healthy lifestyle most of the time or whether you want to party every weekend, because it's not possible to do both, as sad as that makes me say. Sugar cravings, again, possibly because you're cutting stuff out during the week, or you're trying to be good and cutting out your chocolate or your bread or your butter, or cutting out anything that you deem as bad food, then that doesn't help. Whereas you need to feed your cravings, but just with a little bit of portion control. Jen, agitated legs. Do you know, we've got this in my family as well. We used to call it kit legs. And there's one of the girls in my coaching chat, Fiona, you could maybe back me up here. I think it was maybe Jo. Did she not spray magnesium on her feet? I think maybe.
I also have jumpy legs, and magnesium really helps me.
Yeah.
I
So,
use the cream, not. I don't take them as a supplement. I use a magnesium, yeah, but Joe does it too.
do you put the cream straight on your legs?
Yeah, and on my feet, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was, I couldn't remember. I
But Joe
remember you
too.
having a chat with her. Yeah, Jen, so try that. Get a magnesium spray or a magnesium cream, all right? That might help. And again, exercise, but you're a total exercise person. Do you know, you're a coach as well. So, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Fiona. Exercise is a struggle as I have rheumatoid arthritis. I understand that as well. And that is, I get that it's a struggle. We would need to try and find something that you can do. Even, and again, everybody thinks, do you know, oh, I'm lifting weights, I need to go heavy. No, you didn't. Do you know, if you can hold literally hold 2 tins of beans in your hands, then that's massive, absolutely massive. So, Gillian, that might just be a scaling it back type thing. Get to sleep and stay asleep. Bedtime routine helps. Bedtime routine. Put your phones away, ladies. Have a wee warm shower before bed. Get a nice warm cup of tea. Do some exercise. Do some yoga. 10 minutes of yoga as well. Do a journal. Read in your bed. Definitely. And Kirsty, motivation to get started. Again, do you know, the cheesiest saying in the whole world, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time's now. Exactly what I said earlier, that just pick one day, just do one session a week until it feels like a bit of a routine, and then I'd go for 2, then 3, then 4. Exercise weekends. I think that is that, weekends away and socialising. Yeah, exactly what I've said before. Weekends, you need to decide. You can have a party at the weekend, maybe just not like the 3 nights at the weekend. You could have just one night. Absolutely, 100%. But again, if you keep stuff in your diet, Monday to Friday, excuse me, I'm getting itchy nose, that will help. Right, your sleep. Sorry, sleep. Right, how much? 79 hours of good quality sleep. It will help you manage your perimenopause symptoms. The first thing you will do in the morning if you've had a shitty night's sleep is crave sugar, sugary cereal, packets of Haribo, right? The lack of sleep can destroy every single goal in every single part of your life. It will reduce your body fat. If we're not sleeping, we store body fat, we get stressed, cortisol is released, we crave sugar, we eat more sugar, hence the jumping scales. It'll give you more energy to deal with life. It'll reduce your risk of cardiovascular and lifestyle diseases. We are more susceptible, ladies, the older we get, to lifestyle diseases. Not particularly for any reason. So anybody that tells you that you're perimenopausal and you're absolutely going to get type 2 diabetes, that's a lie. All right, it is about eating healthy and moving more will control your sleep, basically. If you're eating healthy and you're exercising, your sleep will be better. If you're filling your body full of shite, your sleep will be disrupted because your body's struggling to process it while you're sleeping, so it'll disrupt it. It'll stop you being a crabbit cow. No, who's crabbit? And it'll give you back your goddess status. How many of you want to get back? Do you feel that you have changed and you want to get back to what you were previously? Because it will help, I promise you. Magic potion number 2, manage your stress. Training, not as a punishment, all right? I don't want any of you to think that we don't train to counterbalance what we've eaten. We train, they're 2 completely different things. Nutrition will give you body fat loss. Training will sort out your joints and your bones and give you muscle. They're 2 totally different things. And training done right is a form of self-care. I journal most nights, and for the next morning, my self-care that I write in my wee box is training. I don't do it 7 days a week, but it does help. Journaling, you might feel like a bit of a dick to start with, but it really does help. I used to think it was a bit woo-woo and a bit shitty, but it does help. Just getting that stuff out your head. Me time, exactly what I said to you earlier. You need to ditch the guilt. You cannot fill from an empty cup. Taking an hour out the day for yourself, regardless of what it is amazing. Alcohol, I've tried to fight it for so long, and I've tried to prove for so long that alcohol manages its stress. It does not. Does it? Fuck. It just makes it worse. And you also need to learn to give zero fucks, right? Nobody cares. Everybody is too interested in their own shit. Nobody cares. And if you can stop caring what people think and stop having a fear of being judged, I swear to God, your life will change. Right, what changes do you want to make to your health and or your life? And, which we've kind of said already, so what barrier are you putting in your own way? Somebody said earlier that exercising, they were using it as an excuse. Guilt, yeah, I think it's an excuse too. What barriers are you putting in your own way, ladies? Get it packed in the chat box. Barriers, barriers, barriers. So I used to use lack of knowledge as a barrier. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just not going to try. Whereas in fact, doing nothing is still a choice. Get them fired in. I'm sure I've got the next slide. I'll tell you exactly what you have all said, because we all say the same shit, basically. We're always a bit too busy. We've always got other priorities. I was just looking at Jasper there. He's just come in for a wee lie on the floor. I'm laughing at the shopping and the food prep. I'm laughing with you, not at you, obviously. Right, so we've got work, lack of time, motivation, not got the time, having time to exercise, shopping, food prep. Why can't I do this? To be honest, I have been better recently. I've done, but geez, always such a barrier. Chore, work, no time, not organised. Saying I don't have time, easier not to try and stuff up. Yeah, so it is, isn't it? It's easier not to bother trying, because if you didn't try, then you can't fail. And that makes us feel like we're in control, whereas we're actually not in control. We're just letting life control us, and that's shit. Food prep, I'm too lazy. Jen, get your husband to help. Fear. Yeah, fear. Again, ladies, thanks for cheering. So this is what I thought you might put. I don't have time, I'm too old, I've put everyone else first. I think that time for me is selfish. I'm too unfit. I can't do it perfectly, so why bother? I don't know where to start. I'm too fat, I'm too scared. Not delegating other stuff and being too busy. Yeah, so pretty much, ladies, exactly the same things that I would have put a long time ago. So most of that comes from fear, to be fair, right? If whatever people say, whether it's lack of time, I'm too busy at work, I've got no motivation, it mostly comes down to fear. You're scared to make a decision and commit to it because you think that if you fuck it up, or if you only commit to it for 2 weeks, you think that you failed. And then, so like, what's the point? Because you know that you're going to fail anyway. Whereas in fact, if you do start, so if you do go for that one exercise session, or you do say no to somebody at your work, or you do delegate and ask your kids to do the washing or the dishes, right? The world is not going to end. Nothing's going to happen, but you've got a fear and it's a lack of confidence as well. So I'm going to ask you to embrace it, ladies. And when you leave here, I'm going to ask you to do something tomorrow to change those comments. Does that all give you the fear? There's a couple of smiles there, to be fair. I'm reckoning that does give you the fear. All right. Remember, you're not a fucking island, man. Absolutely not. We all need help. Yeah, so I want you to think about one thing you can do tomorrow, whether it's to ask somebody to help you, whether it's to tell somebody to help you, whether it's to put in your diary when you're going to do your next exercise session. Set some time aside for you. See, even if it's phoning your pal and agreeing to go for a walk, that's bloody amazing. Do something that's giving you the fear. I swear to God, it'll help you. So anyway, I hope you can see from that list that there's nothing that you're telling me that we haven't heard before. Right, if you conquered these barriers, another chat box, how would your life be different? What would your life look at? What would your life look like? So if you conquered that barrier, how enhanced would your life be? What would change? Not expecting you to tell me that you're going to leave your husband or anything, by the way. This is just like exercise and diet, you know. Didn't be giving me divorces or anything on my conscience. Banging. Progress towards goals. Brilliant. Absolutely. Because remember, whatever your goals are, right? So if you've not got a plan for your goal, then it's literally just a dream. So we want to make goals, but we want to make them realistic as well. And the more you progress towards your big goal, the more confident you get, and the easier it is to continue down the road of your goal. Basically, self-confidence would improve. Of course, it would. 100%. And with self-confidence comes zero fucks. You'd have more energy because you'd be eating properly, absolutely 100%. When you've got more energy, it helps you deal with all the other shit that's going on, less stress, more energy. My life has already changed so much for the better, and it just keeps getting better. Fiona's lost 30 kilos, by the way. I'm sure she'll not mind me telling you that, because she's set goals, committed to them, and she's just doing it. She's loving it, loving it. Amanda, you would be proud of yourself, 100%. We all deserve that. Be happy in your own skin, absolutely. Taps would be off, tits would be out. Well, maybe no, but would be happy anyway. Feel better about yourself, more confidence. Happy, fit, healthy, feeling like more like me again. I would feel better, definitely. More confident, wear those shorts. Maybe next year a bikini. Absolutely. Banging. So, see, you can see what do you know what? See, the fact that you've even recognised that you've got barriers, ladies, is bloody fantastic, all right? But I want you to try and remember the barrier that you put up and how you would feel if you can get over that barrier. But I also want you just to try that one wee thing tomorrow, because that's a step in the right direction. So this is some of the clients that we have at the moment, all right? This is their before and afters. I do share before and after photos if my clients want me to. A lot of them don't, which is absolutely fine. So we've gone for comments, all right? So Elaine is perimenopausal. She'd gained weight in the last year. She was looking to get healthy and fitter for turning 50 in August this year. She's changed her mindset and implemented daily habits. And again, I can't see the bottom of the screen. Hold on. Oh yeah, totally nailed it. Implement daily habits. Just ignore the bit about thanking me, all right? It's a team effort. I'm not here for you to sit and say, oh my God, she's amazing. This is about my client. So basically what we've done with Elaine is we've given her a daily tracker like most of my clients have. So we've improved her sleep. We've implemented a pre-bed routine. She doesn't go on her phone in the morning for the first hour that she wakes up. She's increased her fruit and veg portions, and she's cut back on her processed food, and she just started last week actually training 3 times a week. So that is banging. Elaine is banging. Fiona P, problem is nighttime sugary snacks and no time to prepare food. I cook all the food from scratch and find it exhausting. Lorraine, that's what you were saying as well. It was doing your nutting. She still enjoys treats, but she has less of them. So we've worked on portion control. Basically, again, we don't cut anything out. She wants to be the best version of herself, and fat loss. We've actually just put Fiona into a 15-calorie deficit, a 15% deficit. So we did 4 weeks of working on habits. And then she's now in a fat loss phase as well. And one of the things that we had to do with Fiona actually, so she has a chair in her living room, and that was her nighttime chair, and she used to sit on that chair at night and eat crisps and chocolate. So we don't let her sit in that chair anymore. That was one of the things that we've done. So it can actually be quite simple. I can't lose weight in the same way as before. Tummy is much more bloated, knees hurt, and I have a lower mood. And again, she's learned so much about weight gain. She understands as well that it's a lot to do with the food that you put into your body and lack of exercise, which increases anxiety and stress, which again makes you eat shite, basically. And she did start with me for fat loss, and she has fat loss, but she only had, I think she only wanted to lose about 5 kilos, so maybe 4 or 5 kilos, so not a massive amount, but it's the habits and stuff and the mindset that we've worked on with Kat. Jill's really self-conscious about her body, especially her tummy. And again, we started her on 4 weeks of working on her habits at maintenance calories, so no deficit to start with. And she's sitting at about the 45 kilo loss, which is brilliant, basically. And yeah, I'm always around. I'm always on the chat. If you want to see issues, sleeping, brain fog, anxiety, loss of confidence, and weight gain, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. I can totally relate to that. For the last 5 years, she stumbled from calorie count and low carb, eat intuitively. Like, let's face it, ladies, if any of us could eat intuitively, right, none of us would be overweight. I mean, come on, it's fucking ridiculous. cut out sugar and gluten, and always starting again on a Monday. So we've got her out of this latest fad, following it kind of thing, and we're working on long-term habits because it's a lifestyle. Sorry, Amanda, I've just noticed that Amanda's walking as well. Like, how many steps are you going to be on by the end of the night? Bloody fantastic. Right, Jen, I have no willpower. I hate feeling hungry. I was really worried that I would feel like that constantly. I actually thought, what the fuck am I doing here? Who am I kidding that I'll be able to do this? I'm just going to waste Caris's time. I have known Jen for a long time. We used to train together. She is now a fitness trainer as well and has made so much improvements. 18 pounds lighter. The chat, we were always on the chat, to be fair, never felt judged, which is amazing. But I think the most important thing of that is that she managed to reduce her IBS medication, which is brilliant, because a lot of the doctors, will just give you pills when we can't actually. I'm not going to be that arrogant and say that food is medicine, because it's not, but we can actually do so much ourselves before we just start popping pills. So Paula, being consistent with healthy eating, I would be fine through the week and then abandon it at the weekend. Again, that's quite common. Guilty of over-restricting, that's the whole banana for breakfast, cup of soup for a lunch, and then by the time Friday night comes, you're that bloody starving and feel that you need a reward that you just totally fuck it. So supportive, not judgy, accountability in a friendly way. And again, now Paula worked with me ages ago. It was actually about 2 years ago, before we had the habit trackers and stuff. So it was very much about only nutrition, and it's not about that more. So I would say we're better now, to be fair. Liz, a bad relationship with food, seen as it was good or bad, and not have a balance of macronutrients. My main source of food is carbs. So don't be scared of carbs, ladies. We need carbs, right? Quite a lot of common things is to cut carbs out. We need rice and we need pasta, and again, it's just pushing control. So please do not cut them out. Anyway, Liz rocked it as well. So the next step, I have 4 minutes, ladies. I've shared all my secrets, right? Exactly what I said before, without application. This is just information, but everything that I have given you, you can take away and you can do. All right, Amanda, out with the dog. Brilliant. Jen, sorry, I'm just going to answer this question. What helps with bloating? This is one of my big problems after the agitated legs. To find out what helps with bloating, the only thing you can do for that is cut things out one at a time. The allium family, lentils and beans, are quite common, but again, you could only cut them out one at a time. There's no intolerance test. If anybody goes, it's a hair strand test, it's a pile of shite, all right? The only thing you could do, but leeks and onions are the two most common things that cause bloating. So we can chat about this. If you want to message me, I'll dig out my notes and stuff for you, but it's literally cutting one thing out at a time and then trying it. Right, so without application, it's just information. It's exactly what I said earlier about a dream, right? It's just a goal with it, a plan's just a dream. So how are you going to apply them to your life? I am giving away 2 things tonight, all right? The next step for you, because you've been on this, I'm going to message you all, and you can book a 20-minute call with me free of charge. It'll be a Zoom thing, call, video thing. And we can do a 20-minute lifestyle audit. I'm absolutely not saying I'm going to sort your shit out for you in 20 minutes. I absolutely am not. But if I've mentioned anything tonight that you specifically want to talk about, or you specifically want to have a conversation with me, then you can have 20 minutes of my time for free. To be fair, I'll probably run over at half an hour, but that's fine. All right, so if you want to do that, you can. The link is in the chat. Hilarious, Fiona. I have no idea how to even put the link in the chat. I'll sort that out. I'll probably just message you, all right? But 20 minutes lifestyle audit, me and you.
What link do you want? How to make an audit? I'll just do that. I'll add that.
I need the link for my calendar.
Oh, all right, I can do that though.
Oh, can you? Oh my God,
yeah, because it's on the top. It's on the top for a group, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. So thank you very much. God, you're worth your weight in gold. So if you want a 20-minute chat with me, get it booked. All right, we're just going to stick the link in there just now. The other thing is, I have next Tuesday I am launching my midlife reset coaching, I will give you £15 off per month, all right? So it'll be 110 per month instead of 125. That's all I'm saying on that because I'm not doing the hard sell. Has anybody got any questions? While you're maybe popping questions in, or if you're not, that's okay. I just want to thank you again, ladies. It's absolutely much appreciated that you gave up an hour of your time to listen to me and my chat. I'm very, very honoured. I hope I've given you some laughs. I did realise that when I got halfway through the third slide, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is depressing. So anyway, I hope it was worth it. It's very, very, very much appreciated. If you've got any questions, bang in. If you want to disappear, absolutely bang in. Message me. There's the Calendly link. If you want to book that in, whether you're my client or whether you're not my client, you're all happy, very happy for you to book it in. All right. Love the alcohol stories. Jen, didn't you be telling anybody those alcohol stories? I'm only kidding. I don't care. I've told them on my podcast. I'm fine. It's cool. Have to go. Lovely. Thank you very much, my lovelies. Yeah, Gillian, get it booked in. Kirsty, you're welcome. Claire, brilliant. Jen, we need a chat. Lindsay, you're welcome. Jackie, yeah, get it booked in. Billy, yeah, fewer fucks, zero fucks. Absolutely 100%. Thank you very much, ladies. Lorraine, good on you with the journaling. Jen, thank you. I've no idea. Oh, you can still see me. I've no idea if you can still see me. Glad I wasn't picking my nose or anything.
Right then.
Hi.
Hello. Right, I removed everybody.
All right, cool.
Just because it's the easiest way. Right, well, that's done.